It was sleek, futuristic, and unlike anything else in the sky. The Concorde, the world's only successful supersonic passenger jet. Let's find out. With its razor-thin wings and needle-like nose, it looked more like a rocket than an airliner. It could cross the Atlantic in just 3 hours, half the time of a normal flight. For decades, it symbolized luxury, speed, and technological progress. And yet, today, it's gone, retired, grounded, a museum piece. So, why did the Concorde fail? Was it doomed from the start, or was it simply ahead of its time? Let us find out. The dream of supersonic flight. The story begins in the 1960s, an era of boundless ambition. Humanity was reaching for the stars, literally, with the space race in full swing. If we could land on the moon, surely we could shrink the world with faster-than-sound passenger travel. Britain and France teamed up to design something extraordinary, a supersonic airliner that could cruise at Mach 2, twice the speed of sound, around 1,350 miles per hour. The Concorde was unlike any airliner ever built. Its wings were shaped in a sleek delta designed for stability at supersonic speeds. Its nose drooped down for takeoff and landing, so pilots could see the runway, and under the hood were 4 Rolls-Royce Snecma Olympus .593 turbojet engines, originally designed for military bombers, pushing the aircraft to stratospheric heights of 60,000 feet. Passengers could literally see the curvature of the Earth. Flying on Concorde wasn't just about speed. It was a status symbol. Only the wealthy and powerful could afford a ticket, which in today's money cost over $12,000 round trip. Politicians, rock stars, CEOs, and royalty were regulars on the route from London or Paris to New York. The first signs of trouble, but even before its first commercial flight in 1976, Concorde faced problems. First, the sonic boom. When an aircraft breaks the sound barrier, it creates a thunderous shockwave. Tests showed that these booms rattled windows, startled livestock, and sparked public protests. Because of this, Concorde was banned from flying supersonic over land. That meant its only profitable routes were across oceans, primarily the North Atlantic. Then came the 1973 oil crisis. Jet fuel prices skyrocketed, and Concorde, with its thirst for fuel, suddenly looked like a financial nightmare. It burned more than 25,000 liters of fuel per hour, far more than a Boeing 747, which carried 3 to 4 times as many passengers. To make matters worse, noise pollution was another huge concern. The takeoff roar was so loud that airports, like New York's JFK, initially resisted allowing Concorde to land. Legal battles dragged on, further damaging its image. Economic reality. Here's the brutal truth. Concorde just didn't make economic sense. A Boeing 747 could carry more than 400 passengers across the Atlantic in comfort, at ticket prices affordable for middle-class travelers. Concorde, by contrast, carried just about 100 passengers, and only the wealthiest could afford it. That meant it was never designed for mass travel, only for an elite niche. Originally, over a dozen airlines expressed interest in Concorde, but by the mid-1970s, nearly all had cancelled their orders. Rising costs, environmental protests, and restrictions on supersonic travel killed the dream. In the end, only 2 airlines, British Airways and Air France, operated Concorde commercially. So instead of revolutionizing travel for the masses, Concorde became a luxury service for the few. And while it grabbed headlines, it never came close to being profitable. Technical challenges and maintenance. Beyond the economics, Concorde was incredibly complex to operate. Its engines ran extremely hot, and the airframe itself expanded several inches. During supersonic flight, because of the intense heat, maintenance was constant, specialized, and expensive. Each flight required hours of preparation and inspection, and then there was efficiency. Concorde's fuel economy was dreadful. It burned nearly 5 times more fuel per passenger than subsonic aircraft. At a time when airlines were focused on cutting costs, Concorde was flying in the opposite direction, literally and financially. The beginning of the end. On July 25, 2000, tragedy struck. Air France. Flight 4590, a Concorde departing Paris for New York, crashed shortly after takeoff. A piece of debris on the runway had punctured its fuel tank, causing a fire that brought the aircraft down, killing all 109 on board and 4 people on the ground. The crash shattered Concorde's spotless safety record and destroyed public confidence. Though modifications were made, including reinforced fuel tanks, the damage was done. By the early 2000s, air travel had changed. Business class and first class offerings on subsonic jets provided comfort and luxury at far lower costs. Meanwhile, maintenance expenses for Concorde were climbing and passenger numbers were falling. In 2003, both Air France and British Airways retired their fleets. The Concorde era was over. Legacy and future of supersonic travel. So why did Concorde fail? It wasn't just one reason. It was a perfect storm. High costs, limited routes, environmental concerns, an oil crisis, and finally, a tragic accident. The dream of affordable supersonic travel proved out of reach. Yet, the legacy of Concorde lives on. It proved that supersonic passenger flight was possible. It inspired engineers, designers, and dreamers. Today, new companies are trying again, with quieter engines, greener technology, and better economics. Projects like Boom Supersonics Overture and NASA's X-59 hope to bring back faster than sound travel, this time for more than just the elite few. The Concorde remains an icon, not just of what aviation achieved, but of what it aspired to be. Maybe it was too far ahead of its time, or maybe it was a glimpse of the future that's still waiting to arrive.